the Hoodoo practitioner, the lover behind Three Circle Healing, and I'm here to offer the Gemini season forecast. I'm a little late, but I'm here nonetheless. I pray that wherever you are joining me here, whether or not Gemini season has begun when you're watching this, that the messages, the guidance, the transmissions that are shared here serve you. They serve you, your family, your highest growth, your highest ascension. And I'm just going to dive right in. So, Gemini season begins May 21st and will take us all the way to June 20th. And so, some correspondence for Gemini are the planet Mercury, which Gemini is a sister sign, as I like to say, to Virgo, because Virgo and Gemini are both governed, they're both parented by the planet Mercury. Gemini also corresponds to the element of air. So anything having to do with wind, voice, sound, breath. Gemini is a mutable sign. So Gemini occurs during the transition between seasons. So Gemini is landing here for us between Beltane, May 1st, and summer solstice, which is June 21st, which marks the beginning of Cancer season. So Gemini is seated right in that mutable space between the elemental shifts, the seasonal and sun cycle shifts of our planet, and how our planet is seated astrologically. Gemini corresponds in tarot, which is what I'm going to be basing this reading off of today. Gemini corresponds to the magician because the magician is mercurial energy. Gemini also corresponds to the Lover's card in the major arcana. In the minor arcana, Gemini corresponds to the 8, 9, and 10 of swords. And so I'm going to do this reading in a style I like to call a reverse reading. So I'm pulling the major and minor arcana correspondences out of my chicken tarot deck, and then I'm going to have those be our anchor for the reading, as far as how will these energies and these archetypal forces and these concepts potentially show up in our lives over the next few weeks, May 21st to June 20th. I will timestamp this reading, so if you're not able to sit for the whole thing and you need to take little bite sizes, please do. I do hope that this reading and this offering can support you as a navigational tool over the next few weeks of listen and engage and really allow the contemplations that come forward to be guiding allies as you traverse your weeks, in terms of your personal life, in terms of your emotional life, in terms of your personal development, etc. I often will do some honorable mentions in terms of tarot correspondence for these different zodiac readings, and I am going to do that today. I just saw the first one that I'm like, oh yeah, honorable mention. So the honorable mentions are ways of connecting and communing with Gemini energy in the tarot that maybe other tarot readers don't use or correlate or correspond, but I do. So I want to give voice to that. So let's see. We just need a couple more cards. All right. One more. Of course. All right. I have not had this Chicken Tarot deck for very long, but I really, really love it. And the imagery really allows different inspiration and different understanding for me to come through as far as how I related to these cards, how I describe them when they show up in readings. And so it's always just really interesting to sit with this deck in this way. I just realized I didn't grab my second deck that I need, but I'll grab that in a minute. So before I go do that, I am going to just go ahead and go through the major and the minor arcana correspondence of the tarot before we get into parsing these energies out. So, in the major arcana, we have the Magician card, and this corresponds to Gemini, kind of like through the planetary connection. This is Mercurial energy, and Mercury is the governing, the parenting planet of Gemini. Then we have the Lovers card. This directly corresponds to Gemini. It speaks of that dual, double nature. And then in the minor arcana, we have the 8, 9, and 10 of swords. So here's the 8. I read this as Mercury and Gemini energy. The 9 of swords, which I would read this as Saturn or Uranus and Gemini energy. I feel more of the Uranus. And then we have the 10 of swords, which would correspond to Venus and Gemini. And then our honorable mention is the Knight of Swords. This energy of this card, the movement, it feels very mutable. It feels very mercurial. Always to me denotes Gemini energy in a reading. So this is our honorable mention for the season. And then I'm going to pause here so that I can go grab my other deck. All right. And I've sat back down without flashing the camera. Everything's working out for us. Okay. So I intended to go grab When Olga Speaks. I used this for the Taurus season energy forecast. And then I also, as I was grabbing that, was really drawn to this, the crystals. I feel like I'm really going to go with the crystals. I generally use this deck when there's something coming up physiologically in the body. A part of my gifts as a reader, as a psychic, as an intuitive, is medical intuition. And this is my deck that gives me all of that information. Sometimes if there's something physiologically, health-wise, going on with the body, that it doesn't best serve the person to look at first, if it's like best supportive to look at the soul, the emotions, the mental, it will come up also with this deck. So yeah, even as I'm saying all of that, I'm feeling very confident that this is what we're going to use to glean our insights. So timestamps here, we're going to go ahead and get into the reading. And this deck, for those who are interested, is called Crystal Wisdom Healing Oracle by Judy Hall. All right, so we're going to start the reading here. Starting with the Magician. So when the Magician shows up in our lives and how it could potentially be showing up this season has to do with realizing how supported you are to alchemize a situation in your life, whether that has to do with your mental health, a relationship, your emotions, your physical body, a job situation, your finances. The Magician denotes that you have all of the tools that you would need to incite change, to incite transformation. And oftentimes when the Magician shows up, it's like an aha moment. It's like this spark of, oh, I have had the keys all along. And so potentially this season, Gemini season, 21st of May through the 20th of June, you could be having some aha moments about, oh, I have had everything I needed in terms of like the basic building blocks to start this business, to revamp my life, to see a relationship through, to have better in my life, a better relationship with my body, a better relationship with food, whatever it is. The Magician is you hold all of the pieces to the puzzle and you now have the mercurial analytical cognizance to actually put those pieces of the puzzle together. So I'm going to clarify that here with our oracle. For some reason, with this Magician card, I also get delegation. I feel like that's been coming up a lot in like personal readings of delegating. Something about during this season, you recognizing how supported you are with tools and resources and people, that not only do you have everything you need to incite that change, that transformation, that alchemy, but you also are in a great position to delegate. For some people, I feel like that is going to be a hard pill to swallow. Like maybe you don't see yourself as the mentor, the teacher, the the person who's qualified to be delegating, but you are. And you will be potentially surprised by that this season of like, oh, I actually know more than I thought I did, or oh, I actually have a lot more accreditation or wisdom than I'm giving myself the credit for. And now that I know, I am bolstered to now be in a position to delegate in some sort. And this card is really inviting a shift in how you view delegating. For some people, the barrier between you stepping into a position to delegate is your understanding and your experience with how other people have delegated to you. And this card is not asking for you to show up and repeat how someone else poorly delegated. This card is showing up and inviting you into true leadership, true delegation for the benefit of everyone, not for sole, like egotistical reasons and intentions. So let's see what the crystals have to say about that. Okay. I'm also getting sharing with that card with the Magician. It feels like this rooster is standing on the edge of this like nest that is exposing and showing all of these different tools and allies. And I very much get like during this season, you could be like opening up something to share.